Hi everybody, my name is Nyree and I'm running an adoption support channel where I give tips, advice, my experiences and stories, and I have 2 adopted sons. And today I want to talk to you, if you're a potential adopter, about the types of questions the social worker might give you and the types of answers that you might give to them. But that first phone call with the social worker is critical. Well, first of all, what they want you to understand and to know is having some idea of the adoption process in whichever country you're in. So knowing what the realistic timeframes are and knowing the types of children and backgrounds that could come to you is going to be important, so the social worker knows that you've done a little bit of research into it already. The second thing that they're going to want to know is that you are in a stable living environment and that you're not likely to move anytime soon. Your house has a room and is big enough to accommodate a child or children if you're thinking of siblings, and that you have a house that is relatively safe. There is no major building work going on, nothing obvious in the garden that is going to kind of negate you as soon as the process starts. So you need to come across as confident in the desire to adopt. So you need to come across enthusiastic. I know that you might be nervous, but you've obviously thought through this situation and you're obviously thinking about adopting. So you come to the social worker with a sense of confidence and enthusiasm about what the future may hold for you. So be positive when you make the phone call. Don't put yourself down with the social worker. You may be different from everybody else in every way, but you know what? They're looking for people who have different backgrounds and different situations, because guess what? Every child is different. So it doesn't matter if you feel like you might be different from other adopters that step forward. Different is good. You need to demonstrate that you are, shall we say, stable in your relationship status. Now, your relationship status could be that you're single and you intend to be single, and that's a relationship status. You may be married or you may be cohabiting, but what they want to know is that you're comfortable in the route that you have chosen and the person that you have chosen, and there's not likely to be any major changes anytime soon. So if you're coming to it as somebody who has chosen to adopt and not to have birth children, they will test that out and make sure that that's really how you feel. If you have lost children in the past, they want to know that you've grieved and that you've got past that. Equally, if you've gone for IVF and that has failed, they'll want to know that you've managed to grieve and get past that, and that you are now ready to adopt. They are not looking for somebody who's had the perfect life, the perfect background, that's never experienced any trauma. They're not worried about if you've experienced these things. They just want to know your motivation for adoption and that you've put some of these things behind you. But if you're currently going through something significant with your health, then you need to assess whether the timing is right for you. If you've struggled with depression in the past, it does not mean that you can't adopt. It just means that if you are currently going through depression, you need to give it some more time. You don't want to be having the social worker asking you if there are any issues and you saying, well, I'm currently very depressed. If you're on medication and you feel like you're coming out of that depression, you still may be fine, but you need to know that you're stable. You need to have an understanding of what the process will be, in the sense that it's quite deep and it investigates you as a person. So don't come to that first phone call with the social worker without understanding that the assessment will delve into your past relationships, your current relationships, your family as a whole, immediate and extended, and will ask personal questions to your referees. So have a knowledge of the fact of the different sections that occur within the adoption process in your country. You know, when it comes to home checks, when it comes to your family, your relationships, have a knowledge of what is going to be asked you before you make that phone call. They won't be asked at that phone call, but the social worker will want to know that you're not an idealist. You know that it's going to be an invasive process. If you are experiencing grief or bereavement currently or very recently, it's best to wait for a little while. So if you still have that feeling of being overwhelmed sometimes by waves of grief and needing to really cry and it still hurts, then it might be worth just waiting a little while longer. Again, it will not negate you from being an adopter, because most families have experienced grief at some point, but you have to feel ready to move forward, because when the adopted child comes to you, it will bring lots of emotions and you'll need to be very resilient. They will want to know that you have financial stability, and it might be that the initial questions over the phone do involve asking you what your financial situation is. For many people during the pandemic, this has caused a real issue. So what they want to know is that you're solvent. They want to know that the money that you have coming in is enough to cover your costs, and that there's nothing significant that you need to put right financially, and there is nothing in the future that is going to cause you issues or problems. So I hope this helps you, but it will be very helpful for you to write some things down, potentially from this video, and do some exploring for yourself so that you have your own notes ready when you ring the social worker. And have some questions for the social worker ready too. Not too many, because they're obviously sussing you out, but if you have anything that you don't understand, then please do ask those to the social worker on that initial phone call. It's also your opportunity to find out more. I hope this helps you. If it does, please take the time to subscribe, and I will see you on my channel.